All right. Welcome to the Plan 1 Year in 60 Minutes workshop. My name is Nicole Whitlock, and I am the creator and co-founder of eCom Sellers. I'm also the creator and co-founder of Achieve Digital Marketing. I'm a single mom. I have two special needs teens, young men. And the reason I got into e-commerce is because of them. In addition to that, I'm the vice president of a nonprofit that focuses on supporting the special needs community. I've been doing that since roughly around 2014. Around the same time is when I actually started selling online. Prior to that, I was selling offline, and I was actually hosting a boatload of garage sales in order to make ends meet because I'm a single mom, and that was what I needed to do. People would give me their stuff and I would sell in a garage sale. One day, somebody approached me and asked me if I would help them get some listings on eBay, and I said, sure. So then I took a crash course by just watching some videos and talking to some people and trying to figure things out on how to sell on eBay. Around the same time, I signed up for a company called DSD, or a network marketing company. And from there, I've been doing this e-commerce thing ever since. So I'm going to check something right now real quick just to make sure my sound is good. I think my sound is good. It is. All right. So with that, so before we get too far into this process, I want you to go and download our one-page planner, our simplified planner. It gives you the opportunity to fill it in for whatever your game plan is going to be for 2025. So we're going to look at this one-page plan. We're going to talk about a couple of things first for about 30 minutes, and then we're going to go look at the one-page planner and talk through how you might use it to help you on your journey, whether you are doing e-commerce or whether you're running an agency, whether you are a solopreneur and doing something completely different, whether you're a virtual assistant. You can use this one-page planner to help you plan out a lot of different things and a lot of different projects. So 2025 is fast approaching. We only have, I think, a little over 24 hours before 2025 is here. So it's coming whether we're ready for it or not. And the one thing about this, this journey is that we all have to come to a realization. We know that life is terribly short. So we spend waste a lot of time doing stuff that doesn't help us in any kind of way, doesn't help us to make progress and move forward, doesn't help us to be profitable. And so my goal with the one-page planner, the simplified planner, is to actually help you streamline what you're doing, help you better manage how you're spending your time, where you're spending your time. And if you need a more detailed tool to do that, then we also have the My eCom Planner, where you can detail out what you're doing and really kind of dial in your time and your schedule so that you can be even more focused and even more disciplined. But yes, life is terribly short. This year, I lost two very important special friends of mine that were in the e-commerce space, and it's just been a challenge just to try to get past that. But 2025 is on the way, and we think 2025 is going to solve all our problems, but it's not. It is not. Unless we have a game plan for 2025, it's not going to solve our problems. We just think it's just going to happen. Hey, I can't wait for 2024 to be over. I'm so looking forward to 2025. And then 2025 gets here and you're trying to figure out why everything is still the same. So let's talk about that for just a second. Now, all of us have a lot of things to do. We have an endless list of things to do, and that list of things to do will not go away. There's always something that needs to be done. The key is to prioritize what we're doing, how we're doing, when we're doing, where we're doing, or reining in what we're wasting time doing. Sometimes we're wasting time doom scrolling. And sometimes there's 9,000 things that need to get done. And maybe some of the stuff we're doing could be outsourced to somebody else. But let me just say, the list of things to do is never ending. So how do we solve some of these problems? Well, the first thing we need to do, because it's go time, is if you didn't get a pen, go grab a notebook and pen, or you can pull up that spreadsheet that I actually sent you. It is a Google Sheet, so you can, or that I, shared on the screen. So it's a Google Sheet, and we're going to look at it in a little bit. You can grab a notebook and pen in the meantime if you haven't been able to download it yet or make a copy of it. So we're going to focus on 6 main areas of our life. Our spiritual, whether you are or are not religious or spiritual. There, some people that, depending on whether or not they are not religious, that's a priority in their life. And so you have to decide if it is or is not a priority. If it's not, this may not be an area of your life that we're going to focus on and reevaluate. Your personal life, personal, anything that you do independently outside of family on your own, and or, maybe it's just your circle of friends, your family and household. If you don't have a family, maybe you just have a household. In your household, you may have a pet, or you just may be by yourself, but it is your household. So what are the things in your household do you want to evaluate or look at? It could be that you're ready to take out, take up the carpet and put down hardwood floors, or you want to paint, or you want to sell, or you want to move. It could be from a family standpoint, you decided that next year, you're going to get one of your kiddos a car. There's all types of goals, objectives, milestones that we're all trying to reach. So we're going to look at all of these areas. Your health and your fitness. Are you where you want to be? Do you want to get better at something? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to be healthier? Do you want to be stronger? Do you want to be more active? And is there anything there that you need to focus on for 2025? Maybe you already have existing health issues and you really want to focus on your health. Financial and money. Is there anything in your life that you need to address or take care of that's financial related or that's money related? Maybe you really, really suck at creating a budget, or maybe you're really good at creating a budget and you really need to find extra money, a second source of income. And maybe this is, you using this to help you figure out how to find a second source of income. And your business. If you have a business, if you're starting a business, great. You're in the right place. If you've already got an existing business and you really just want to better organize it, this is also a great place to do that. Using this tool will help you to do that. So we normally start off with doing a year-end review. A year-end review is kind of assessing where you are, why you are where you are, so that if you're not where you want to be, that we don't carry forward the actions, activities, habits that we had in 2024 into 2025. So that's the reason why we do an assessment. So what went well in 2024 that you're cool with carrying into 2025 or replicating or repeating in 2025? What do you want to change? What do you want to stop doing? What do you want to start doing? What made you happy? What made you smile? If running your own e-commerce business or your own just being an entrepreneur and running your own business was not fun, maybe there's some opportunity there to change how you ran your business, improve it, modify it, stop doing something, take away something, or add something to it so that you can find a happy medium. Because again, life is short, terribly, terribly short. So you need to do an assessment of how you feel 2024 went so that you can determine what you want to change or prove or stop doing, start doing, implement for 2025. Maybe you were a little less organized in 2024. You want to be more organized in 2025. That could be as simple as it is. It could be that you want to lose weight, or it could be that you want to expand or scale your business, whatever that happens to be. In addition to that, continuing that review, what were your accomplishments in 2025? And what do you feel your setbacks were? What were your accomplishments in your personal life and your setbacks in your personal life as well? Do you feel like, okay, I started off 2024 strong, January, February, March, I was doing really good. And then somewhere around April, things just took a left turn at Albuquerque. Is there a reason why? Is there something that happened as you kind of do a post-mortem of 2024 that caused that? Or do you feel like, the year was pretty good? I had a pretty solid year, or no, I really didn't have a solid year. And why did I not have a solid year? Because we should always be evaluating why something potentially happened and how we can prevent it or learn from it, so that if it's not something that you want to repeat again, that we do everything we can to prevent repeating it again, if possible, when possible, and if possible. Sometimes we're meant to go on a journey, whether we want to or not. So that's another thing that we have to always keep in mind, that sometimes we're meant to go on this journey because there is a lesson learned either in the middle of the journey or at the end of the journey, or maybe we're in the journey to bless somebody else, to help somebody else that we don't know, that we're going to run into here in a little bit. In addition to that, for 2024, looking at your finances, looking at your business and your taxes, any subscriptions. Is there anything you want to change for 2025? Is there anything you want to do differently? Did you establish your business insurance? Do you want to change your insurance? Do you, I mean, if you didn't establish it, you probably should establish it if you're going to continue it at 2025. But in addition to that, don't forget about the BOI that you need to make sure you submit if you have an LLC or if you just have an entity. You want to go check to see if you're required to submit one. In addition to that, your bank accounts, were you commingling funds in 2024? And you really need to have a clear delineation of your expenses versus your personal expenses versus business expenses. And do you have any money set aside to handle any type of emergency? If you're working a full-time job and then doing a side hustle, that's one thing, because hopefully you have some money set aside for your full-time job. But if this is your full-time gig, do you have any money set aside? What's your backup plan? How are you going to address or resolve those things? Okay, for 2024 to 2025. Now, as part of this assessment for 2024, we can't overlook what was our mindset in 2024. Sometimes we get sideswiped. Losing two of my really dear friends kind of threw me for a massive loop and made me just revisit and reevaluate everything. And that's just part of it. And there are other things that can cause us to just, help cause us to be off our game. Like we just are not able to figure out where we want to go, what we're going to do, how we want things to work for us. So we have to look at our mindset and what kind of mindset shift do we need to make for 2025 before we get too deep into the year. Because if we don't make the adjustments, whatever baggage we're carrying around from 2024 or challenges or things that we really need to learn either how to let go of or get help with addressing, we're going to carry it into 2025. So your mindset is one of the strongest things to help you to either endure, overcome, persevere, all of those things, because there will always be obstacles in anything we have to do, whether it be a small task or a big task. There's always going to be some level of an obstacle. There may also be the unknown, something weird, crazy that we weren't expecting to have happen that actually happens, and it makes us just completely crazy. So this is a great opportunity for you to reevaluate your mindset and determine whether or not you feel like you are where you want to be mentally. And it's not like it is a destination and you're done, because it's always a journey. It's not just a one and done. So looking at your mindset and determining whether or not you feel like there's some things that you either want to improve, you want to address, that you feel like might be impacting your ability to move forward. So take a look at that as part of this journey, your mindset. What do you want your mindset to be for 2025? And is there anything from 2024 that might be impacting your ability to make the progress you have a desire to make for 2025? As you look at your mindset, just determine whether or not you feel like you're stuck in a fixed mindset or whether or not you have a growth mindset. I feel strongly that I have a growth mindset. There's all types of obstacles that are thrown at me. And there are some times that I have setbacks and I have to deal with the setback, but I'm always in the mode of persevering and moving forward. In the midst of, I work to address it, to deal with it, and to move forward whenever possible, because I'm on a mission. I want to be able to build something that will either leave a legacy or to be able to help support my kids when I'm no longer here, because we all have a date with destiny. And my goal is just to make sure that I've got it pulled together. Here's some additional books, some books that you can take listen to on Audible or read, take a look at, that might help you in some capacity, or maybe none of these are what you need. So maybe take a look at a couple of them, see if you feel like this might be worth the book for me to read this year, or in the first quarter, or the second quarter, or the third quarter, or the fourth quarter. So take a look at the list and just see if there's anything there that can help you. The second thing is a vision board. So looking at your mindset for 2024 and seeing if there's any adjustments you really want to make for 2025 or anything you want to address. And then number two, creating a vision board. something you can focus on, something you can look at, something you can work to manifest into your life. Sometimes people will create vision boards and they will put them on their phone, or they will put them on their screensaver, or they will take them onto maybe their mirror in their bathroom, or in a place when they first wake up that they can see from a distance, just to remind you what you're working towards and what you're working for. It's okay to have a couple of different vision boards. You might have a personal one and a business one, or again, depending on what type of journey you're on and what you're working to build, create, develop, implement in 2025, just make sure that you have something to help you, remind you in the midst of the journey, in the midst of the madness. There is madness sometimes. Something to help you to refocus and that you can fix your eyes on, to remind you where you're trying to go. So definitely, I encourage you to put together a vision board, something that you can focus on, remember, and have available to you. So here's a couple of examples of vision boards. You can do them on Canva, or you can do a physical one that, where you're cutting out and taping onto a poster board. I like to create mine on Canva because then I can put it on different things. I can add it to as a screensaver and on my phone and also on my laptop. You can do different things with it if you create it in Canva. So now that we've kind of taken a look at 2024, one more thing that I just want to point out for 2024. I feel like 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024 were the years of distraction. And what I mean by that is social media. You going into your office or going into your workspace, trying to focus, whether you're investing 5 hours a week into your business, or whether you're investing 20 hours a week or 40 hours a week into your business, and you get distracted. I refer to it as, the social media doom scrolling. And if you're challenged with that, make sure you're putting some processes into place so that you don't have that issue, because you'll get started working and then you'll get distracted. And then 3 hours later, you'll be trying to figure out, what did I get done today? So we're going to talk about tracking your progress, doing things to kind of break the cycle of this doom scrolling that happens sometimes. Okay. But yes, squirrel. So we're going to work to refocus. So I want to encourage you, again, if you haven't been taking any notes, if something comes to mind, definitely write it down. Okay. So there's the dream and there's the reality. Where are you right now? What I mean by that is, how organized are you? In your mind, you might think, oh, I'm really organized and I really got things together and I really got this and I really got that. And then when you look at reality, like, okay, when I am coaching someone or I'm working with someone and they're telling me, well, I didn't make as much money as I wanted to, or I don't think that this schedule is working for me, or, whatever the reason is that we're having this conversation, I always ask them, what's your schedule? First of all, let me see your goals and what's your schedule. A person who doesn't have goals or doesn't have a schedule, they don't know what they're focusing on. They have in their mind what they're focusing on, but they don't have anything concrete that they're going back and referencing. So an example would be if you say, I want to make sure that I start getting more sales. And I'm like, well, what do you have to do? What is the action verb that you have to take in order to be able to work on getting more sales? What are the actions? Well, I probably need to source more. Okay, that's one action. And I probably need to do a little bit more product research. Okay, yep, that is another action. And then there are sub actions that are associated with both of those. I probably need to create more listings. That's probably the biggest one because it's an income producing activity. And so creating more listings will help you to get there. So what's your game plan for creating more listings? Well, I really just work on trying to create listings when I get off work and then sometimes on the weekends. Okay, so how many listings do you create a week? Oh, well, I don't know. Okay, that's the problem. There's your problem. If you want to get the results, you have to be intentional with your time, money, and resources. And that means being intentional on how much time you spend creating listings. So listings is an actual income producing activity because people cannot buy what they cannot find. If it's not listed, they can't buy it. It's just sitting in your house or sitting in a corner or sitting online. if you're doing drop shipping or whatever. And if a listing does not exist anywhere for somebody to hit the buy button, then there's no way that you can make any money off of that thing. So we know that that is an income producing activity. We want to focus on the things that are going to bring us the revenue and bring us closest to our goal. What is your actual goal? Well, I don't know yet. Okay, you should probably have a goal. So, one, not having a listing goal, thinking that you do. So, that's the dream. And then the reality is you really don't have a listing goal. Number two is thinking that you have a financial goal of, well, I just want to make sure that I make enough money to cover, I don't know, a cruise. Okay, how much money do you need for a cruise? Well, I really don't know. Again, you don't know. So you need to know what the number is you're working towards. So you can determine how much more you need to make to get to that number. So having actual facts, concrete decisions, all of that. Whether it is you are doing e-commerce or whether you are a blogger, whether you are creating graphic designs, whether you are a virtual assistant for somebody, whether you are running an agency and doing social media posting, again, you should always have concrete data and or stats and or goals that you're working towards. You should always have that. Sorry, I was just hitting my hand back and forth. So anyway, you should have concrete goals. You should have goals on how many customers you want to have, that you want to serve or support each month. How much is that customer worth? What is that customer value? How much do you want to be able to build them at? What type of customer do you want to have? Do you want to have a customer that has deep pockets and can afford a high ticket versus a customer that can pay, the $5 on Fiverr? What are you looking for? So you need to figure out some of those details so you can work towards attaining those goals. So there's always, as an entrepreneur, there's always the dream of where I think I am and then the reality of where I really am. And that's one of the things that we're going to take a look at so that you can populate that onto your 2025 goal plans list. Focus, yes. So we want to get focused, get laser focused. So with this process, we're going to figure out, again, I focus on e-commerce, but again, if you are a solopreneur and you're doing different things, again, blog writer, maybe you're creating bots for AI, I don't know. You probably have some objectives, but you do need to figure out what are those things that I'm working towards. So in the example of e-commerce, what are your selling platforms going to be for 2025? You need to write it down. If you don't know, then that needs to be an open-ended question so that you can write a goal towards whatever that platform is. If you're a person that you want to maybe implement print on demand in 2025, you've been doing retail arbitrage and you want to implement print on demand, maybe what your strategy will be for 2025 is that you spend first quarter learning about print on demand, establishing your accounts on the different print on demand platforms, whichever ones you decide you're going to use, and also getting used to your creation tool. If your creation tool is going to be Canva, then you're going to play with Canva. So you spend first quarter doing that. Do you need to spend all of first quarter? No. I mean, it depends on how many hours you actually work in your business. If you're a person that's only working 5 hours a week, then all of first quarter might make sense. But if you're a person that's able to work 20 hours a week, then all of first quarter is not necessary. You can probably spend the first month, focusing on one thing, second month, getting better at it and upscaling from there. And then the third month, you should be executing and actually making some money, or at least have some things listed by then. Getting better at keyword research, getting better at titles, getting better at creating designs, getting better at doing research, all of those things. So again, it just depends on the number of hours that you've committed to it. So what method of e-commerce? If you're going to do wholesale, again, you could put together a game plan that says, in first quarter, I am going to establish 5 new wholesale accounts. In second quarter, I'm going to establish 10 new wholesale accounts. Again, just going through and actually putting together some hard, concrete goals that you can work towards. In order for me to establish 5 new wholesale accounts in first quarter is 3 months, I need to at least have established at least 1 new wholesale account in January, maybe 2 in February and 2 in March. So then that's first quarter. I will have met my goal and my objective at that point. What's your shipping strategy? Are you going to be shipping yourself? Are you going to outsource to a prep center? Maybe you will, maybe you won't. I don't know. What's your sourcing strategy? Do you have one? So as part of this whole talking about the strategy thing, The other thing that's part of this strategy discussion is do you have standard operating procedures for your business? Standard operating procedures, SOPs, will help you to be able to quickly either outsource the work to an actual VA or outsource the work to a tool, an AI tool. So you have to know what the work is in order to be able to outsource it. What is it that a VA can do for you? What is it that an AI tool can potentially do for you? So that, again, you can outsource. If outsourcing to a tool is your game plan for 2025, again, what is the groundwork that you need to lay? If you have not created any SOPs whatsoever, maybe what you're going to do is you're going to spend first quarter creating at least 4 or 5 SOPs for your business. And then in second quarter is when you're going to actually either test either the tools or a VA and begin the process of outsourcing that particular task or activity. But it's part of the journey, part of the process. Okay. So again, depends on what business you're in. If you're doing e-commerce, there's some other things you might think about. But if you're not doing e-commerce, then again, for your specific business, what are some of the key things that would make you successful or help you to be more successful in 2025? So we're going to do an exercise now. And if you didn't already access the spreadsheet that I previously mentioned, you want to go ahead and bring it up now. Okay, bring it up now. And I'm going to talk through a couple of things and we're going to look at it together. So we're going to plan your year. I don't know why I went backwards. So the first thing is you're going to see on page 1 of the spreadsheet, it tells you to make a copy, right? So it's going to tell you to make a copy and you're going to write down something that you definitely want to learn in 2025. I'm going to give you an example. Maybe you run Google ads, or maybe you run Facebook ads or Instagram ads, and you feel like you should get better at that. Now, I will tell you, a lot of the algorithms have changed because of AI. So maybe you're really good at these things, but because the algorithm has changed, it's impacting your results. So you probably have to tweak them. That may or may not be an impact for you because that's been an impact for a lot of people. But in any case, maybe you want to learn how to run Google ads or Facebook ads. And so this is something that you definitely maybe want to do at the beginning of the year because you understand it's going to impact your business throughout the rest of the year. It's going to actually help you build momentum in other places throughout the rest of the year. So maybe what you do is you take first quarter and you're going to focus on in first quarter. In January, you're going to focus on learning Google ads and testing and split testing Google ads. Then in February, maybe you're going to test and split test Facebook ads and Instagram ads. And you're going to continue to get better while simultaneously continuing to work on improving your Google ad game. And then maybe in March, you're going to focus on either Bing ads or maybe a specific selling platforms ads like Amazon or Walmart or promotions on eBay or Etsy or whatever the case may be. So what you've done is you've taken something that you know will have a huge impact in your business overall for 2025, and you've put it in first quarter. You put it in first quarter because whatever work you learn and the fact that you're going to get better at it by doing it in first quarter, it's going to impact your results in your sales in second quarter. It's going to impact your results in sales in third quarter. And it's definitely going to have a positive impact on fourth quarter because whenever you learn something new, we're horrible at it at the beginning. Facts. We're not good at it at all. But the fact that you're continuing to pursue it and work on it and improve it, like when we were little babies, we were learning how to eat. When we first learned how to eat, we were horrible at it. Food was like everywhere but inside of our mouths. Okay. It was in our hair, up our nostrils. It was all over the floor. It was down our clothes and our diapers. It was everywhere. But over time, with continued practice, we got better at feeding ourselves. And now we know how to, some of us, eat without looking like we're still 9 months old. Okay. So for the most part, anything that we do for the first time, we're horrible at it. When you first maybe learned how to ride a bike, you were horrible at it. You were not steady, you were off balance, and you sucked at it. You had problems. Or When you got your first place, you moved out after you graduated. Same thing. Sorry, I had to turn off my son's phone. So again, anything we do at the beginning, we're not good at it. But the great thing about putting something that you know is going to impact your business in a positive way, or could have the potential of having a huge impact on your business in first quarter, that gives you the opportunity to get better at it in second quarter, to get better at it in third quarter. And by fourth quarter, you're really in a great position to be able to maximize the results of the investment you made at the beginning of the year. So we're going to be thinking about, as we talk about things we want to learn for 2025, or as you write down things you want to learn for 2025, what is something that you could learn, or that you feel like will actually have a positive impact on your life or your business in 2025? And strategically, where do you think you should put it? Because again, I gave you the example of making the investment and getting better at ads means that my fourth quarter is going to be amazing because of the fact that I made the investment in first quarter. The next is to write down things that you either want to improve or implement in your personal life in 2025. Maybe you want to lose weight. Maybe you want to, I don't know, learn calligraphy. I don't know. Maybe you want to learn AI. I have no idea. But again, if there's an end result that you have a vision for your life by the end of the year, where's the best place to put this activity, action, or thing in? If I'm thinking first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, where's the best place to put it? Same thing with your business. So for your business, maybe you're planning on writing a book in 2025. Maybe you're planning on moving from being a solopreneur and launching an agency and having a couple of VAs under you. Again, what are some of the things that need to happen? And in that gradual progression to becoming an agency, you have to think about all the action, verb, activities that you have to engage in to get there. And then when's the best time potentially to do each one of them? May require you to do just a little bit of research, depending on what it is you want to launch, if it's not e-commerce, okay? So I want you to write down a few things that you want to learn in 2025, things that you want to improve or implement in your personal life for 2025, things that you want to improve or implement in your business life for 2025. And I want you to group together similar things. So I'm going to escape for just a second, and we're going to pull up the spreadsheet. So this is the spreadsheet that is in the link that I previously gave you. The first step, it says to make a copy. So you want to go to files and you want to make a copy. Second is that you're going to fill in this brain dump. As I was talking about, what are the things, the ideas, the things that you want to implement in 2025? And you're going to put them here. The goal is not to fill in all 10 for all 6, for the 6 columns. That's not the goal. It's just to write down the things that you feel like are either your top 3, your top 5, your top 1. That's really either going to improve your life or going to help you simplify your life in 2025. Because we're looking for where you want to be based on what you put in your vision board. Okay. So if what you write down has nothing to do with your vision, then that's maybe not a priority item. Maybe not. Just depends on where it fits in the stream of activities and actions. So you're going to write down, again, a couple of things about your personal life. Okay, we're going to go back and you're going to prioritize them and make sure that you trim them down, either the top 1, you can in any of the categories, the top 3, whatever it happens to be. So you're going to pick what are the top 3 things that I want to improve. So I will give you another example. Maybe in my spiritual journey, I really do want to read the Bible in 1 year. And I feel like that will have a positive impact on my relationship with Christ. If I'm a Christian, if you're not a Christian, that may not impact you. So if that's something that you really feel that's very important to you, and you really want to make that the thing, or maybe you say in 2025, I want to join a Bible study, or in 2025, I want to make sure I'm more consistent about going to church. So you can put that down as the thing. And maybe that's the one thing. Maybe it's not 3 things. Maybe it's not 10 things. Maybe it's just one thing. So you're going to trim it down to what you feel like is going to make the biggest impact on your life in 2025. We've already done the assessment of 2024. So you have to always make sure you know where you're coming from so that you can figure out where you want to go forward into. We're not going to carry all the luggage from 2024 into 2025 if we can help it. All the bad habits, we're not going to carry those in. That's the goal, is not to carry it in. Okay. So you're going to write that down into the spreadsheet. So this may help you as I am thinking about things that I could potentially implement or do in first quarter that will definitely impact my fourth quarter from a business standpoint. So if I am rolling out a VA business, if I decide that I want to promote the fact that I do blogs, or the fact that I want to host a summit or do some workshops, some live workshops, when might I do those workshops? Maybe those workshops are leading to something else. So there might be some video sessions that I might do in first quarter. If I want to host the paid workshop at the end of second quarter, maybe my strategy would be January, February, March, and April, and May, host some free workshops so that I can get people onto the list, make sure that those free workshops are tailored around whatever the paid live workshop is going to be at the end of second quarter, so that I'm building momentum, getting people on the list, getting their interest, so that it makes it easier to convert them into a buyer to buy the paid workshop at the end of second quarter. So there's things I need to do in first quarter to get to the end of second quarter. I don't know what's on your list. I don't know what projects you have for 2025. I don't know what goals or objectives, but I want you to take a look at this and just say, okay, of the things that I said are priorities that I really feel like are things that I want to implement, roll out, change, stop doing, whatever it happens to be, where's the best place to put them to have the biggest impact on what your vision is for your life in 2025? Okay. What will this look like in December 31st of 2025? And if it's something that requires a significant amount of time to change, change the direction of the ship and turn the ship a different direction, then you probably want to start working on it sooner rather than later. But if you feel like it's something that you can implement in a short period of time, and it will have a huge impact and help you get over the hurdle of whatever your ultimate goal is for 2025, then, put it in third quarter, put it in fourth quarter. So this is setting intentional goals, setting intentional thoughts, deciding what intentional actions you're going to take in order to get to where you want to be at the end of 2025. Okay, so intentional. So I want you to just continue to fill in that spreadsheet on page 1 before we get to the other pages, while I talk through just a couple more slides. So what is a goal? Okay, a goal is, first of all, most goals are specific. You should have SMART goals, things that are specific, measurable, attainable, achievable, relevant, realistic, time-based, or time-bound. Those are the best goals to set, because then you're working towards something, and what is it that you're working towards, and what's the measurement of it. There are process-related goals. Process-related goals will help you win all the time, but process-related goals are related to, like, if I'm aiming to work in my business at least 2 days a week, at least every day for 2 hours, I'm probably going to set up a time block of 2 hours every single day at the same time, because it's repetition and it's part of my process. It's part of my routine. Okay. Performance related goals. So I am working towards creating 100 listings every single week. Well, what do I have to do to get to that? In order for me to create 100 listings per week, I have to probably have already decided how many days realistically per week can I actually work. Maybe I can only work 5 days a week. So if I can only work 5 days a week, I will take that 100 divided by the 5 days and say, okay, I need to create at least 20 listings every single day. If I'm only working 2 hours a day in my business and I got to create 20 listings each day, is that realistic? Maybe it is, maybe it's not. Depends on if you have a listing tool, depends on if you list fast, depends on if you list slow. So I got to figure out, am I a slow lister or am I a fast lister? I got to do a baseline maybe do some listings for about 2 weeks or a week just to figure out how fast or slow I am and be consistent about it. Then I can go, okay, my average listing that I can create in 2 hours is maybe 8 listings. I'm just making this up, or 12 listings or 15. So maybe I won't hit the 20 listings. So I need to adjust my performance goal, outcome goal. So my outcome goal is I'm working towards making $5,000. Again, getting $5,000 in sales. I got to know what I'm working towards. So how many things do I have to sell to get to that $5,000? Well, if I'm selling VA services and I'm selling VA services at $400 a month, then I've got to sell, in that example, at $400 a month, I've got to sell, oh God, I can't even do math right now. I got to sell 8.5, 8, a day and a half. Nope. Higher number, Nicole. That's what happens when you're tired. For I got to sell 11, 12. 12 is going to be closest. So I got to sell 12 packages of VA services in order to get the closest to 5,000, which is 4,800. Sorry, I'm tired. That's the reason why I couldn't do math. But in any case, I got to figure out what I've got to do to get there. What's the work, the effort that I got to put in? If I am creating listings and maybe I'm selling bundles and I'm selling bundles of, I don't know, kids' clothes, or I'm selling bundles of backyard furniture. How many do I have to sell in order to hit that mark of $5,000 in sales? Okay. And then I got to reverse engineer that and say, okay, what does that mean on a daily basis? How many sales do I need to work towards? That doesn't mean I'm going to meet it, but what's my average that I'm working towards? So I'll know whether or not I'm going to actually reach my goal or not. Okay. And you do need to say whether or not it's $5,000 sales a week or whether it's $5,000 in a month. Measurable goals. So measurable goals and measurable goals, the definitions are not exactly the same. But anyway, the measurable goal in this example is how am I going to feel when I achieve that goal? That is, what will it feel like when I win? And so if you're doing visualization exercises by having your vision board, when you achieve whatever it is, whether it's working towards buying a car, what is that feeling going to be like when you actually get the car that you have been looking at your vision board all this time? So that type of performative sort of measure and goal. In addition to that, you'll notice that I'm using, of course, a lot of verbs and nouns and things like that, and adjectives, because of the fact that we always need to know what the definition is of what we're working towards. So we do want to establish goals. You need to create a plan. A plan is a detailed proposal of doing or achieving something, an intention or decision on what one is going to do. So you have to have a plan on what you're going to do to achieve that goal. What are all the action steps that I need to do to achieve the goal of getting 12 customers buying my VA services at $400 a pop? What are the action steps? What are the things I'm going to engage in? Probably going to create some ads, probably going to maybe do some workshops to talk specifically about VA services, or what is the purpose of the VA, maybe create some blogs around what is the purpose of using a VA, maybe offer some free coaching sessions to people that are struggling, maybe reach out to some companies that, independent individual business owners that I know, and say, hey, if I offered this VA service that included all of these hours, would you buy it at $400 a month? Again, I'm going to do a bunch of action steps to ultimately get to my goal of 12 customers. Am I going to just rest on my loins when I get to my 12 customers? Absolutely not, because there's always this thing called churn where people will roll off, and so you have to get another customer. But the point is, my goal at that point would be to get some testimonials about the service that they're getting, making sure that my VAs, I have a process in place so that my VAs can serve my customers well, so that I can get good testimonials and continue to grow my business and hire another group of VAs. And then being intentional. Everything that you do when it comes to building your plan, your game plan for 2025 needs to be intentional. You need to be deliberate. It needs to be done on purpose. You should never just do something random, as I talked about a while ago. You should always be intentional. So there's a lot of stats around setting goals. The biggest thing that I need you to know about those stats is that half of the people who do not people who don't write down their goals. They have goals for the new year, but they didn't write them down. So those people, if you don't write them down, you are 43% more likely of achieving your goals if you wrote them down. Okay, that's the first thing. You also are, for those people who don't write goals, those that do write them, they are 10 times more likely and more successful at achieving their goals, which is crazy. If you have a process around your goals, you are more likely to achieve them. If you visualize your goals, you are more likely to achieve it. So that's the reason why I mentioned the vision board. All of these things matter. Measuring your progress, measuring your success, all of that. If you're measuring your goals and whether or not you're going to meet them or reach them, you are more likely to actually achieve your goals. These are all independent measurements. But when you combine all of these independent measurements, a person who visualizes their goals, a person who writes down their goals, a person who measures their results, those people are 92% more likely to achieve their goals because they're tracking their progress. They know where they are in the process. They're monitoring what's happening. They're going back and looking at their goals over and over again, and they're visualizing them. That's the thing that you need to know about goals. So goals that have a process tied to them, the stats are even better. When I talk about a process attached to it, I'm going to give you a couple of examples. One is you paying your mortgage. You can say, I'm going to pay my mortgage at the beginning of the month, and it's a thing that you say you're going to do, but you don't have a process around it. Whereas if you set up automatic bill pay and the process, once you set up automatic bill pay, it automatically pays it for you, then it's something you don't have to think about. There's no stress attached to it. You don't have to remember and say, did I pay the mortgage this month or not? And it automatically happens on its own without you having to blink or think about it. When you set up processes to help you to succeed, then you have a better chance of succeeding. So is there anything in which your goals that you're working towards, is there anything that can be automated, can be streamlined, can be put into a process that would help you to achieve that goal much faster? I'm going to use an example of RAOA leads research because I have one of my VAs doing it. Having the VA manually go look up RAOA leads and organically find them is great, but having a tool that she can use to go ahead and look up products, find it in the tool is going to streamline her time, and then she can go back and actually get way more products because of the fact if she took the same, hypothetically, 8 hours of manually looking for products to source and then creating them and putting them on a list for a customer versus 8 hours of using the tool, fine-tuning the results, finding and pinpointing those 2 or 3 products where there's extremely low competition, where there's, an opportunity for you to white label it or private label it, an opportunity for you to get a great deal from a wholesale supplier. That same 8 hours is used completely differently, and she will get better results, which means that the customer that receives that list will be even more grateful because now they have that diamond in the rough. They have that gold mine of products that if someone didn't take the time to do a deep dive, they'd be like, okay, I'm getting sale after sale after sale, and I have no competition. It's probably not for long based on how Amazon works, but you get the point. So the secret sauce is, where possible, automating your processes around your goals. As I said before, they're SMART goals, the goals that are specific, very detailed, having detailed goals, not vague goals. Okay. Measurable goals, attainable and achievable, realistic and relevant, and also time bound. In other words, I know that I need to create 100 listings by the end of the week. That means that at the end of a month, I need to have at least 400 new listings up. So again, doing that math, how many do I need to have in a quarter? I take that number times 3. That means I need to have 1,200 new listings in a quarter. Is that realistic for me? I don't know. So I got to go do that research to determine if it's realistic. If it is, then I work towards that goal. In addition to that, as I said before, we're always going to evaluate and we're always going to adjust. There are many habits and many goals. So you, as part of this course, you're going to actually get a habit tracker. and that's on page 1. So we're going to go through that in just a second. But you have access to a habit tracker. If there's something that you're struggling with, if I use the example of listing, maybe 100 is a lot and you feel like you list really, really slowly. And so if 100 is a lot, then you can take micro steps, mini steps to get to that goal. So maybe in first quarter, we're going to spend all of January just building the habit of consistency around creating 5 listings every single day. Then in the month of February, we're going to go to 10 listings every single day. And then in the month of March, we go to 15 listings every single day. So we can gradually get to April where I'm at 20 listings every single day. So it's a gradual progression towards the goal, not just going at it cold turkey. That's a mini habit, mini goal. You can do that with anything, whether it's exercising, walking 15 minutes first, and then next month walking 20 minutes, and then next month working 25, and then next month walking 30. Or if it is around, selling your VA services. So maybe you get 1 customer in January, work to get 2 customers in March, work to get 3 customers, in February, and then 3 customers in March. So again, gradual progression. So you can establish mini goals. That's one thing you can do. Habit stacking. This is around routines that you already have in play and putting together things that make the most sense to go together around a habit that you're working to build. Time blocks. I mentioned time blocks before, which is setting dedicated time to be able to do something, complete something. What I have, my days, my deep work is at the beginning of the day for me. So 6:30 to 8:30 every single day, Monday through Monday, is my deep work time. That's where I'm working in my business, doing things that I know that will move the needle in my business. They say that you can work up to 4 hours before you're like, you really need a good long brain break. So I just do the 2 hours and I transition to something else. Then I can take my walk and then come back and work on some more things. But time blocking works for me. It may not work for you. For some people, they just need a checklist. If a checklist works better for you, then you can use the 1-page planner that we put together to be able to create your own checklist that you're checking off on goals that you're setting and the progress that you're making and actions and activities you're going to engage in order to achieve those goals. Because it's always a series of actions to achieve the goal. Okay. And then as I said before, you have a habit tracker. You have access to a habit tracker. These are things that you want to track that you really, maybe you're horrible at being consistent about exercising. That is just the one thing you're horrible at. Or maybe you're horrible at being consistent about creating listings. Or maybe you're horrible at creating designs every single day for your print-on-demand business. If that's the case and you want to build a habit of consistency, you can use the habit tracker to monitor your progress. It's just tracking what you're doing every single day. It helps you to create a new good habit or break an old one. If procrastination is your problem, you probably want to use the habit tracker to help you to do that. So here's some examples of habit trackers. The one that I'm going to show you is completely different. The next that I want to talk about before we go back to the spreadsheet is you're going to build a schedule that's going to help you to be productive. You need to figure out when your most productive time of the day is. For me, it's first thing in the morning. Yours may be different. Maybe you get a second wind right after lunch, or maybe it's right after the kids go to bed, whatever it may be. But whenever that is, that's when you really want to, if possible, work in your business. If it happens to be while you're at your job, your 9 to 5, then is there anything that can help you to get a second win? Sometimes we can talk to a friend and someone that we know that will inspire us and motivate us and get us excited about the business because they have so much creative energy right after we talk to them. And so then from that moment on, I've got my second wind. And then other times, you just have to do something completely different in order for you to figure out how to access your most productive time of the day. That may mean for some people, it might be like, okay, I need to change my hours at my job so that I can use the first half of the day to continue to build my dream and then go to work. Maybe I work from 11 to 8 instead of 9 to 5, if that's one of the things that works for you and you're allowed to do it. So you have to figure out how to achieve what it is you want to do. But you do need to put together a schedule. If doom scrolling is one of your vices right now, You might install an app to help you to stop doom scrolling. So that way you can block social media, turn it off, turn off the notifications, don't allow it, give your phone to somebody else for 2 hours, or put it somewhere where you can't get to it. So then that way you can focus on your business or focus on what it is you're working to achieve during your focused time, if you have dedicated focus time. And I encourage you to have dedicated focus time. You can also use alarms. I use alarms on my phones. You can notice that my son's phone went off and I got it. That's because he has an alarm on when to go take a shower. He's autistic, so I just kind of set it all up. And so it makes it easier for us to be able to get stuff done. Okay. And building your schedule, work to have what I refer to as distraction-free dedicated time, if that's possible. Again, if that's too rigid for you, if a checklist works better for you, because sometimes people are not time driven. They're just not. They're just like, okay, I'm just going to work through my checklist and try to get stuff done. Google has a great task list that you can create, and you can use that to help you to build your checklist, or you can build it in the spreadsheet that we've already given you access to. But figure out what are the things in that checklist that are going to make the biggest impact and help you to achieve your goal. So you're always, again, engaging in actions and activities towards the goal. If it's not towards the goal, then that's not an action or activity you should engage in. Okay? It's just not. So here's an example of a Google Calendar. You can use Google Calendar to create your own schedule, to build a daily schedule that you can work on and work in your business to help you to achieve your goal. And don't forget to celebrate when you have successes, when you reach a milestone. We didn't talk about milestones, but you do want to establish milestones that you're working towards. Okay, in 30 days, this is where I want to be at the end of the 30 days. That I reach it? Yes, let's go celebrate. Whatever that looks like for you. I don't know what the celebration looks like. Okay. So your steps are, one, you've already done the assessment for 2025 or 2024. What did 2024 look like? What were the challenges I had in 2024? What did I not like? What are the things I want to change for 2025? What do I want to implement for 2025? Number two, or number one, is to build a schedule to accommodate the goals. You're always in the schedule. Everything is working towards the goal. So build a schedule so that you can make time to work on those goals. Okay. Write down your goals, whatever they happen to be, personal or business, and make sure that you establish either weekly, monthly, quarterly, or annual goals. I just break everything up into 4 quadrants, and you're going to see that here in a second. And then your weekly goals, you want to review those to see if you accomplished them. Same thing with your monthly goals. Did I accomplish whatever my monthly goals were? Monitor your progress to see if you're making progress towards those goals. And if possible, get an accountability partner. Make sure that accountability partner, that you and that other person understand that the first part of the conversation needs to be just the facts, Jack. Just the facts. So it's not a social event. You're going to talk about, these were my 5 goals that I had for this week, and here's the status of where I am on these 5 goals. My bigger goal beyond this week, next month, or this month, I'm supposed to get these things done. So this is the stuff I completed towards my goals for the month. And then if you guys want to have a separate call to socialize, you can do that. That is one of the downfalls that me and my business partner have. Once you do all of the things that I've suggested, and also creating some automation or making sure that there's some automation attached to your goals, then you have a better chance of winning. That's the goal, is to win. So a schedule that you follow will help you gain consistency. If consistency has been your handicap for 2024, make it your goal for 2025. Consistency will help you to build the habits. The habits will help you build the momentum in your business. And that is going to definitely impact your goals. Okay. So your focus, your mindset, time management, consistency are the keys to winning, because the goal is to win. So we're working towards goals. If you don't have the My eCom Planner, I do want to encourage you to take a look at it. If you're a person that really wants to be held to the fire, like the 75 hard, if you can go look that up yourself. But if you want to be held to the fire and be more consistent, then the eCom planner will help you to be extremely consistent in your business and in your personal life. And it's not just 1000% e-commerce related. So you can use it for non-e-commerce related items as well. So the last thing I do want to say before we go back to the spreadsheet is researching and putting together your game plan for 2025 and deciding what you want to do and where you're going to spend your energy and what your priorities are going to be. You could research that all the way up until June. The goal is to make some progress. So I'm just going to say that you need to just start. If you do a brain dump and you're only able to come up with 8 things and you feel like those 8 things are right now are good enough, because you can always reevaluate. Remember, we're always reevaluating. At the end of the month, at the end of the quarter, we're always reevaluating. Then you can reevaluate and adjust your goals. You can adjust your calendar. You can adjust your game plan. Okay? But you need to start. I've worked with and coached too many people where they say, well, I need to know as much as possible about this thing right here. So I'm still researching it. Well, I'm still figuring out. Well, I'm not really sure. Well, I'm a little concerned. I'm a little scared to start. Look, you're killing your progress. And at the end of the day, life is way too short. You're not going to get back the time that you're wasting. You're not going to get back the time you're procrastinating. And you're not going to get back the time that you're making excuses around. So you do need to just start on your game plan. Build a game plan, even if it's a game plan of one item, and work towards that. And once you accomplish the one thing, then establish another goal. And once you accomplish that, then establish another goal. Things that are going to help improve your life, simplify your life, improve your business, make things better for you. That's what you're working towards. You want to make progress in your life. Okay? We don't want to stick and stay where we were in 2025. So review and analyze your results from 2024, sorry. Let's just say 2024, not 2025. But anyway, review your 2024 data, not 2025. And then once you do that, start building a game plan for your 2025. Work on your mindset. One of the things we talked about, your vision board, visualizing. Put together your plan and your strategy. What are the action activities I'm going to engage in to achieve this goal? What am I going to engage in on a daily basis, a weekly basis, monthly basis, quarterly basis in order to achieve that goal? Build a schedule so that you can make time to work on those things and make sure that you do everything you can to be focused. Whatever distractions that are in your way right now, address them. Be honest with yourself and say, okay, these are my distractions for real. And so I have a problem with XYZ. I got a problem with, I don't know, doom scrolling on TikTok. I got a problem with, watching Instagram shorts all day. Like whatever, not Instagram shorts, YouTube shorts, whatever it happens to be. So if you have a problem with it, what are some of the things you can do to address them? Okay. Always be learning because technology is changing all the time. There might be tools out there that can help you on this journey. Be patient with yourself and give yourself some grace and mercy. You are going to make mistakes along the way. It's okay. Forgive yourself. Okay. Forgive yourself. So with that, let's go look at this spreadsheet. This is your one-page planner. So this is your first page and you're doing this brain dump. You have, let me just tell you what else you have on this first page. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Once you make a copy of this, the other things that you have at your disposal, you have the daily, weekly, and monthly eCom planning PDFs. These are reminders of activities that you should engage in every single day in order to see progress in your business or to develop consistency in your business. I promise you, if you follow this, you will actually make progress in your business and you will make progress in your personal life. But it is very rigid and some people can't do rigid. So I just want you to be aware of it. There's also videos that you can watch around that. This is all on the first page. The next is the eCom planner. You can grab the My eCom planner by going there. This is the free habit tracker. You want to take this habit tracker, make a copy of it, and you want to modify it for you and for your life. What are the habits that you're wanting to build in your life and in your business for 2025? So this habit tracker already is set up. All you have to do is just click on it, make a copy, and it's yours. You also have access to the 2025 annual eCom planning sessions that we just held last week. So you have access to video 1 and video 2. And the last thing is that if you really want to talk to me about your business, you can schedule a one-on-one session with me to go through and let's talk about your business. Let's talk about what you created in your spreadsheet. So here is your first tab, which is your year at a glance. The year at a glance, I'm just going to minimize this from 100% down to 75%. This gives you an opportunity to write down, maybe there's some workshops and conferences that you wanted to go to in 2025. So you can come fill those in here. Maybe there's a family reunion coming up or a vacation or a girls trip. Just come and fill it in and add it. Start filling in the things that you know about 2025. Maybe someone's graduating and you really want to go. It's extremely important to you. Whatever's important to you or you feel like it's going to help your business or impact your business in some way, put it on here. I know at the beginning of last year, we put a bunch of conferences we wanted to go to. We didn't get to go to not one of them, but it's okay. We knew about them. We knew when they were coming up. We didn't get to go to any of them for different reasons. There was stuff going on. So put them on here so that you're aware of them. And if you're launching a product and you know when you're launching a product, again, you can put it on here. So I gave you the example of launching VA services and what do my targets need to be and my goals and all of this other stuff. So I might write out what those are. So in this first week in January, like I'm going to go through and maybe we create our graphics and all of our funnels and all of our email swipe. And that's something that we're doing. You can put at a glance. This is the month that we're focused on this type of work for the business. This is when the funnel is going to be tested. This is when we're launching. So again, if you know when that's going to be, you can use this tab to be able to fill in your entire year on one sheet. So you know what's coming up, what's happening. If your mom is having surgery this year and you already know when it's supposed to happen tentatively, you can put it on here. So again, you can plan important things on this sheet. So this is year at a glance, this first tab. The next tab is daily. For people who really want to make sure that they're focused on one or two things, you have 2 lines for each day. You technically have 3 lines for each day. And so for each day, you can say, okay, these are the 3 things that I am going to focus on. Maybe there's one thing that's personal and one thing that is business. So you can decide that focus line 1 is personal and focus line 2 is going to be for business. But these are either actions, activities, or important things that you need to know about that day, or things you want to do, or things that you need to have done for that day, okay? So it's the entire year. And then you have notes. Maybe there's something important that you want to note about each one of the days. If I were to make this smaller, I'm just gonna make it at 50%, you'll see it's the whole year. You have colors that are broken out by quarter. So January, February, March is your first quarter, and then April, May, and June. So it's broken out by quarter, and it goes all the way to the end. So again, you can fill in if you really want to be specific. You can come in and fill in 1 month at a time and decide that you want to drill down on what actions or activities you're going to engage in based on the results that you got. Okay. So that's the next tab. That's the daily. If you're a person that writing out something every single day is just too much and you want to go higher level, then you can say, okay, what are the 2 activities that I'm going to engage in each week towards my business or towards my goals? And you can break it out by week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4 of a month. And what are the 2 activities I'm going to engage in every single week? That allows you the opportunity to still make progress and to also track or monitor what you are or are not doing or what your focus is going to be. Whether it's an end result thing or whether it's an actual action activity that you're engaging in, okay? You have a place where you can indicate notes, and you also have a place for reminders for that month. Maybe the family reunion is in January, so you want to remind yourself. Maybe there's a big workshop that you don't want to forget, and so you can put a note that, hey, there's a workshop in January that I really want to attend, or maybe I'm speaking at that workshop, and so I don't want to forget that. So you have a reminder column in the weekly. In the monthly, you have 4 lines for monthly. So again, in the weekly, you had 2 lines for every single week. In the month, you got 1 line. If you want to break this down from being the word focus to week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, you can do that. And you can say, what is the one thing I'm going to focus on in week 1? Or what is the one thing I'm going to focus on in week 2? Or maybe what are the 4 things that I'm going to focus on in January that I'm going to work on, the action activities I'm going to engage in, or what is the end result? Maybe you're writing down when something is launching, when you're going to roll something out, when you want to have your funnel done, when you want to have your email swipe done, your graphics done, when you want to have your, your workshop ends for your Google ads or Facebook ads or whatever. Okay. Then you also have reminders for the week, so you can write down, or for whatever the focus line is. It doesn't have to be week, but you have a place to make sure you have those notes. Okay. You also have 2 tabs for budgeting. When we are thinking about progress that we're making in our business and projections of what we want to do, if I use the example of the working to have 12 customers that hire my or buy my VA services. So if I'm going after 1 new customer in January, 2 new customers in March, 3 new customers in April, or whatever, February, March, April, then, or maybe I'm doing 2, 2, and 2. So 1 new customer in January, 3 customers in February, 5 customers in March, like I'm doubling it up. Then I can put in projections for my income sources. So maybe I'm running an Airbnb. So I can put Airbnb here. Airbnb, and I can type Airbnb. Okay. So this is where you type, and you can put in what your projections are if you're renting out a property. If you're running a candy vending business, which is what we're going to be doing in 2025. So I can write down candy vending as another source of income. Okay. So I can put that down. Then I can put down my e-commerce business, and I can also put in my VA services business. So I can, and then if I were doing graphics, I can do my graphic design business. Okay. So these are all my businesses. These are my income sources. And then what am I working towards financially to make for those businesses based on the goals that I put on the previous pages? So if I'm not launching my graphic design business until April or May, then it's probably going to be 0 for the first several lines. But then after that, I should start seeing some numbers. I can also put in my projections for expenses. So maybe I'm running ads down here. So I'm going to run, maybe I'm running some Google ads, and I'm going to commit to $300 a month or $500 a month or $1,000 a month or $3,000 a month in Google ads, whatever that number is. So I can put this here and it will actually calculate it. Once you scroll down, so these are your expenses are in blue, it will tell you what your net is at the bottom. So it's already calculated for you. So you have a tab for personal, and then you have a tab for business. You can type over any of the examples that I've already provided. What are the expenses that I'm going to have by running my VA business, my graphic design business, my candy vending business, and my Airbnb business? This is where you put those obligations or expenses that you have to pay for running your business. What are your expenses? Okay. And then last, you have a place for future planning. Future planning gives you the opportunity to plan out for the next year. Just thoughts, ideas, where you want to be, what you want to do, how you want to scale. Maybe you want to sell your business. So maybe you want to build it in 2025, continue to build it, 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029, start positioning yourself to sell the business so it's sold by 2030. Maybe that's your game plan. So this is your spreadsheet. Once you copy it, you can begin filling it in based on what we talked about today and use it to help you to build a game plan for 2025. It may take you 30 minutes to fill it out, and it may take you an hour to fill it out. But the first thing is you need to do an assessment of where you are and where you want to go in 2025. Once you've done that, then you can start filling this in based on the action activities that you have to engage in to achieve that. And don't forget that you do have the opportunity to schedule a free 20-minute coaching session with me so that we can work through your business. So with that, if you want to reach out to me, you can contact me at Nicole@ecomsellersummit.com or Nicole@ecomsellers.com. Either one, you can reach me there. You can also schedule a free coaching session at bit.ly/free ecom sellers coaching. And I'm on all the socials. Not as often as I used to be, but I am on all the socials. So I hope that you found this information helpful. I hope that it blesses you in a big way in your business. And I'm going to open it up for questions if you have any questions. I'm going to stop the recording.